Welcome back to our home kitchen and dining room. When we made the first video, my nephew, Evan, wrote a comment and asked if we would make authentic Irish barbecued chicken wings. So, since we got that out of the way in our second video, what's that, Mandy? He didn't want barbecued chicken quesadilla. Authentic Mexican quesadilla? All right, well, I guess without any further ado, we're going to make an authentic Mexican quesadilla. There's no way to make a quesadilla without getting a little cheesy. But I gotta tell you, I think this is gonna be great. We've got this Mexican melting cheese. I'm gonna grate up some of that. I also have a little bit of Monterey Jack. This Tome from Cowgirl Creamery, which has become my very favorite new burger cheese. A little bit of extra sharp cheddar and a touch of Parmigiano Reggiano just to dry the thing out. Now this is a setting on my box grinder that I don't use very often, this nice large setting here, but I think that we're going to get a nice melt if we use these bigger pieces of cheese. Nice little clove of garlic that we're going to roast, because you can't have a quesadilla without a little bit of salsa. A little bit of olive oil on that clove. And also a little bit of salt. I'm going to wrap this up in the aluminum foil, throw it into a 400-degree oven until I start smelling garlic, and then it's probably done. When you wrap that up, you want to make a pouch that looks kind of like the garlic, where anywhere that the olive oil could run out is up here. So now the only way that you're going to lose any of that olive oil, even when this thing starts bubbling up nice and hot, is if you have a rip in the bottom. Next, I'm going to fire roast some of these lovely poblano peppers and one of these jalapeno peppers, depending on what kind of heat level you would like. I'm going to keep this a little less spicy because I don't want to take away from the flavor of the morel mushroom that we're going to put inside the quesadilla. Right? Yeah, we're going to put morel mushrooms in the quesadilla because your Uncle Matt's classy. Now, I love my taquerias. And one of the most important aspects of a taqueria is the salsa. That's why we're charring these poblano. And they are nice and charred. Black is fine on that. I'm going to put these charred peppers into a bowl. I'm going to wrap them tight with plastic wrap. And what's going to happen is they're going to start to steam, and that skin that's already charred is going to separate real nice from the meat of the pepper. And that's going to be the base of our salsa. With this quesadilla, we're going to have plenty of fat. So we're going to want a little acid to balance it out. I'm going to take these green onions, line them up, cut the tip off there, and then I'm just going to give them a quick little chop chop. Put these onions into some white wine vinegar, some thin slices of this jalapeno. I'm going to put seeds and all in there, make sure they're fully submerged. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. So the next thing we're going to do for this chicken and mushroom quesadilla, we're going to go ahead and put some dry spices on some boneless, skinless chicken thighs here. I have a mixture of cumin, coriander, smoked paprika, chili powder, celery salt, celery seed, not celery salt, and black pepper. Just put all that in there. Again, a little bit of sugar. This just really helps with the caramelization. You don't need too much. And some salt. Of all of these dried ingredients in the bowl, go in with some of that good olive oil, and then mix well. Chicken's fully marinated, ripping hot grill pan. Just gonna go ahead and set these bad boys right in here. I'm thinking we're probably going to need a little bit more oil, but I'm not going to use olive oil at this point. I'm going to use just a little drizzle of high heat oil in the pan. And then we'll put those in the oven. Our morel mushrooms are nice and clean. We've made sure that they're clear of all dirt. Anything from the forest floor that might come along with the mushroom is gone. Sometimes you do have to soak these mushrooms in salt water if they have bugs inside. Now, I've inspected these very thoroughly and no bugs have been found. Maybe not attractive to talk about bugs when you're making a quesadilla, huh? Have a nice hot pan on. We're gonna give these mushrooms a real quick saute in a little bit of brown butter. See how my butter is browning? It's becoming nice and foamy. And that's the perfect place to drop these mushrooms in. I'm gonna start them on the flat side, and they're gonna start right away to soak up as much of this brown butter as they possibly can. And I'm gonna let them do that. Green onion tops that I reserved, I'm gonna give them a little dice up too and cook those in with the morels for a little extra flavor. Our grilled chicken's out of the oven, looking very, very delicious. The bowl that I had my peppers steaming in, I'm gonna just throw my chicken right on top. I'm gonna save space, and then anything that drips down from this chicken is gonna wind up in that delicious salsa. Save every drop of flavor. Gonna put those onions in that we talked about. Just give them a little bit of a shake around. And then pop them right back into this bowl. We're pretty close to quesadilla time now. So here we have our fire roasted poblano pepper, and this is going to be the backbone of our salsa. Just going to really carefully start to peel away the skin from the outside to reveal this beautiful bright green flesh of the pepper. So we want to make sure that we get all of the usable pepper. And it's okay if we have a little bit of skin in here that makes it more rustic, more authentic. Cleaned peppers. All right, we still have our chicken here in the bowl. All that juice. Get cleaned up, and then we'll move on to phase 6. Some of these lovely green tomatoes right in with the roasted peppers, starting to smell the garlic, and I think that's ready to go in here as well. So let's give it a look. Ooh, that's steamy. So what I have there is a roasty, toasty, super hot little bit of garlic. I'm just gonna squeeze that. Ooh. Ow. Squeeze that right in. Jeez, that's hot. Green onions and jalapeno peppers in the vinegar. I've got my tomatoes, my chilies, and my garlic in the pot. I'm going to now drain all this vinegar right into this little pot. I'm going to find my chicken, any chicken juice, even if it's just a little bit that might come out of there. I'm gonna go inside with my little trusty hand blender. With my little trusty hand blender, I'm gonna start to make this salsa. Emulsify in a nice amount of olive oil until it's nice and smooth and shiny. To this salsa, I'm gonna add a generous amount of salt. and put it off to the side. And we're gonna start to make our quesadilla. Oh, that's good. That's really, really good. All right, now we're gonna dice up our chicken. So I've got my pan here is nice and hot, and I'm just gonna give this tortilla a little bit of love so it's nice and pliable when we get into it. Now, something that I read when I was researching quesadillas, everybody was saying mezzaluna shape, like a half moon shape. Is it a full quesadilla? You put two tortillas, one on top of each other, a half, you fold it. The way that they make it for me is a different fold. We're gonna put down some chicken first. We're gonna put in these beautiful morel mushrooms and that bit of green onion. And now it's time for the cheese. And I like lots and lots of cheese. I think they do that quesadilla suiza, they call it, and they put pico de gallo inside. That makes it, for me, a little too wet. I would rather have that on the side. So, get a generous amount of cheese. And I love cheese, so I may overdo it. All right, let's work on this fold. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring it over like that, flatten it out a little bit, and roll it under. Give it a flip. Do my best to not burn my fingers while tucking in the sides. Butter inside. And then I'm gonna put it on the fire and I'm just gonna toast it, let the cheese melt. Hopefully some of that cheese is gonna come down, get in those cracks, get kind of brown, and seal the whole quesadilla so it's lovingly encapsulated. I'm gonna get a little bit of garnish ready. I'm gonna put some of these lovely little cherry tomatoes right in with our lightly acidulated jalapenos and green onions. Get those a little bit of a mix around. Start to think about avocado to go on top. Nice and crispy on the outside, melty and hot on the inside. A little bit of this fresh salsa that we made. We're gonna chop some cilantro right on the top with that. Make it look pretty with a little more salsa. And that, my boy, is your quesadilla. You thought that was too cheesy? I thought it was great.